Welcome back to It's Time for Yarn. This is my little pile of motivation. Now you might be asking yourself, what are you talking about motivation? What do you mean by that? Well, I have been so motivated through weaving in ends. Can you believe that? That I have been oddly satisfied by weaving in ends on my granny squares from my all-in-one granny square yarn from Red Heart. I had some skeins of this that I hadn't used yet, and so it all started one day. It all started with a tutorial for this flower power, and I'll leave that link down below if you haven't seen it yet. I figured out how to make that yarn work the first time, every time, where you don't have to frog it back and redo it and do it looser, do it tighter, all of those things, where you can just stitch. And if the color doesn't line up correctly, I show you how to get it to eat up the rest of that yarn so you can get to the next color and be where you should be. And so in doing that, I had this fabric. I'm just all kinds of motivated, y'all. I'm just all kinds of inspired. So I have this fabric that I got from Joann before they went out. And I initially had planned to use these squares. Hold on. Let me get them out. Hold on one second. Okay. I had initially planned to use these squares with this pink as the backing. I'm going to put the squares together like a regular old blanket and then attach them to this. I'm going to snip the sides and tie them to the granny square. I saw that in a short that somebody shared. I don't know where, I don't know when, I don't know how, kind of like Ariel, but I saw it. If you don't know that reference, it's a Disney reference. I'm a crazy Disney person. I'm sorry. Okay, anyway, I saw the video short and was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm going to use that method of just simply snip and tie to the openings in your granny squares. I'm like, oh, genius. Hello, thank you for that. Whoever shared that, I'm so sorry that I did not screenshot you. I forgot about it. I didn't even think about it. I was so mind blown in the moment. But anyway, I'm talking all over the place. I'm all over the place, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm just excited. Anyway, so I'd initially planned to use this and I didn't have very much of that. So then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll join it together with this. And like these together with like some solids. Okay, I can pull it together. But I don't really like this with my pink. And then so I was like, okay, well, I have this again. I'm like, oh, it's just not working out. I love this. Look how beautiful that is. Love those colors. Oh, gorgeous. But anyway, so I thought to myself, okay, stay calm down. I am just going to use these together in a granny square cardigan with some solids. Whatever I got to do to make it work, bring it together. It'll be fine. They all end in the white, the soft white, so I can just join them in white. It'll be fine. It'll be all good. Well, then I was like, well, that leads me back to square one with this. You know, what am I going to do with this? I really wanted to make a granny square blanket and attach it to this fabric. And one thing that my sister mentioned, she's like, that'd be great because then when you go to use the blanket, it'll be nice and thick and warm. It'll be beautiful with your granny squares, but you won't feel the itchiness of the yarn. And which we all know that Red Heart has a problem with that. We know. And so I was like, wow, I didn't even think of that. And then too, for me personally, I like to put either double up my blankets when I use ones that have granny squares that have like holes in it, you know, I double up, or I'll use like a top sheet on the bed and then I'll put this over it so that it helps the air not leak through. So in that case, if I have this on the back of it already, that'll be great. It won't be leaking through. But anyhow, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm back to square one on that. Well, then when I had my mind-blowing epiphany about the flower power yarn, I was like, you know what? Okay. I'm gonna use this flower power yarn with this fabric. I feel like that would be okay. I feel like it would look nice. And I had purchased the flower power yarn. I bought 4 skeins of it, and each skein makes 12 squares. So I'm gonna have 48 of these, and I already have this many. Like, this is almost, this is like 40, because I only have 1 skein left. This is 3 skeins and then a few out of the one that I'm working on. I discovered that I need to wrap the extra, because look, they give us lots of extra at the end of each square to join these rectangles together, squares together. But I need to wrap it around it, because I initially was just throwing them in my bag, piling them up, and they were getting kind of like tangled together. So I was like, ooh, I don't want it to be tangled. So I've been wrapping it around each one and getting it ready to join together. I'm excited to join them together. I'm like holding myself back, stay calm, because I really, really want to just skip ahead to that part. But I know if I do, then I'll be like way less likely to actually go back and finish making the squares in this skein that I have left. I don't have much left. I have that much of I have about 8 or 9 of those squares to make, and they take me about 20 minutes. If I'm in the zone, I can go a little faster than that. But as I'm working on it, I go ahead and weave in the center. I use a magic circle. And for those of you who don't like magic circle because it's not secure, you're absolutely correct. It will not be secure until you secure it. So I go in and I weave back and forth, tie a knot, weave back and forth again to get those center done, and then continue on. And then when I get to the end, just wrap it up. So I'm excited about that. And having this pile of ends that I've weaved in is motivating. I like watched it grow and I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. Now, some of you might be wondering, like, why is it motivating? Like, what do you mean? But to me, this pile of ends that I've woven in from all of these granny squares that I've made is a sign, a physical symbol that I am using up yarn that I have, that I've purchased, that I have dreams of making things with, because, you know, we all do it. We buy yarn and we love it. It's beautiful. That yarn right there has been waiting for me going on 2 years. And when I think about that, my mind is blown, like, oh my gosh, 2 years have almost passed since I've purchased that yarn. It was on my goals of blankets to make. I want to make a mosaic with it, with that yarn and black. That was on my list of goals for 2024. And here we are halfway through 2025 and it's still not made. So to me, I'm really focusing on trying to use the yarn I have and not let it sit in this room and die, sit in this room and not be made into something beautiful. So I kind of got derailed a little bit with the whole Joann debacle because there were yarns I loved and I wanted to get before they closed their doors forever. And so I am going to be using this fabric that I got from there and these granny squares that I got from there as kind of like a memorial blanket to Joann. This is my sign from Joann that I got out of it's actually out of the bathroom. They had 3 of them in a row. And when I went on one of my last trips, all 3 of the posters were still there. And I asked if I could take one and they're like, okay. So they're like, I don't care. So I took that out of the bathroom. Have an awesome day. So, but anyway, I am excited to finish the flower power blanket. I have a plan that I'm going to put all of these together, and because I'm not real good at planning ahead. Like I buy yarn and I just buy whatever feels right. And then it tells me what it wants to be. And I listen carefully. And then I cross my fingers that I have enough to make what I need. I have what I need to make what I want to make. So with these, my plan is to connect all of these into a rectangle and then put it up against here and see if I have any like space on the edge. And then either put like a border, like a granny square border, or a border of small granny squares around it to make it a little wider if I need to make it work with here. I'm just going to use probably white. I don't know. Should I use white or pink? I'm not going to use the purple because there's already going to be a lot of purple. I don't like using white on the borders because, you know, when you're pulling and tugging your little fingers and they get dirty easier. But I don't know. It'd be easier to match white than pink. But I don't know. Comment down below. Let me know what you think I should do. Because I don't know. Anyway, I will figure that out when the time comes. I will get to it. But I am working on that. When I get off of here, I'm going to go and work up a few more of those squares. I'm not going to be able to finish them tonight. I would love to, but my little baby will be up at 6:30 in the morning. No matter what time I go to bed, he don't care. He's getting up at 6:30. So I can't stay up too late. It's right now it's 9:06 in the evening. And here I am talking about yarn. But that's okay. I will go and I'll wind down. I'll make a few of those. Pop in an audiobook. I've been listening to audiobooks while I crochet. I've been listening to audiobooks while I do dishes, while he's watching his shows, while we're playing in his room, because I can only take so much of, you know, put the circle in the hole. You're like, oh, okay. So I will play with him and have an audiobook in my ear at the same time, and he's none the wiser, and he's totally fine and having a good time. And a lot of times he'll come up and he'll show me something, and then he'll run off and play on something in his room and then come back. I'll sit in his room with him, so he'll play. But anyway, I'm getting off track. I will have to pause on my blanket. My goal is to finish the squares and then pause, because I have friends that are expecting a little baby boy, and their baby shower is coming up. So I've got to make them a blanket. I do have this yarn from Yarn Inspirations, Karen, Cloud Cakes. I do have an affiliate link with Yarn Inspirations, so if you're interested, you can click on that. That actually goes for the Flower Power yarn as well, that you can get that, or the Granny Square yarn, clicking my link from Yarn Inspirations. But I have this, look how beautiful. Oh, I love it. For a little boy. They're doing like a beachy kind of vibe. I don't think it's like beach themed. I don't think they have like shells and starfish everywhere, but they're gonna have like those colors, like the sand and the ocean colors. So I got this, and I'm planning on doing a center out in the round blanket. I probably will just use the moss stitch because I like it, and then two, it's easy to stop and start. So like when my baby's interrupting me, I can stop and start easily. But then also it doesn't have holes. It doesn't have big gaps in it for the baby's little feet and fingers to get caught in. So I really love this, super soft. So I'm excited to make this and give it to them. But I've got about, I don't know. I was going to say about a week and a half, 2 weeks, but it might be less than that. I'm going to have to look it up. But anyway, I got to get on it. So I might not finish making the squares before I start this, because I got to get this done. But anyway, I'm excited about it. I have a plan, and I will be at least taking a picture of it to show you guys in a blanket tour. So anyway, I appreciate you guys stopping by, and don't forget, no matter what time it is, it's always time for yarn.